Hello, and welcome to Presence Practice with Poonam and Parker. Hey, Poonam. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
The topic we have today is affirmations, mantras, and breath, all wonderful tools as pointers, not tools, I would call them pointers towards nothingness. So they're great use for when we're beginning our meditation. Some people carry affirmations and mantras and breath work throughout decades of their stillness and holding the balance between being and doing. And so when they're doing their being time, so we're not doing a meditation, we're in a space of being, we may need to grab hold of a pointer. The Buddhists say it's like giving the elephant a stick. And so it's giving the mind something to do, but it's not the end point. It's not the spacious present moment that's absent and free of all thought. Saying yes to everything that's present in the present moment. So an affirmation is really affirming some reality or some sanity that we may have brought in, or that we are wanting to shift an ingrained thought pattern. So we may have a thought pattern that we're not worthy or good enough, some egoic chatter that comes up and with different words, but the energy field is something that tells us that we aren't worthy of being alive in some way. So we may create an affirmation that speaks to the new sanity for that awareness, but a deep realization is as good as 1,000 days of affirmations, because it just wipes it clean, as you may have experienced in some areas, that as you have deep realizations that some patterns just disappear. And then others are the work that we're doing here, and we know that because it's what comes up for us, sometimes repeatedly in the present moment. So affirmations can be helpful. Mantras, I really, Poonam, would love to hear you talk about mantras from an Eastern perspective. This is a sort of this old tradition of chanting and mantras with a certain breath stroke sometimes, and a sound and an inflection that our tongue has made and that tongues have made since ancient time, and it brings about, sometimes they say, shifts in consciousness, and sometimes around specific areas. And that's the trip up for doing mantras, is that it can create an expectation that if we do this, then this is going to happen, and we're not deeply present. We're not letting it bring us in deeper. So these pointers are great for bringing us to a space where we can allow that attention to expand and allow what is, and surrender, for surrender to happen. We kind of create that beautiful, spacious mole with our alert attention. And these pointers bring us more of that focus and attention. And breath, manna for the body, sending fresh oxygen into every cell of our bodies, and making our bodies a hospitable place to be. So that's another container that we create. And it allows us to stay grounded, to remain, or bring us into a more grounded space. And we know we're grounded because our mind isn't racing anymore. We don't feel any fight in our body. mantras, Poonam. Can you speak on them? I'm going to try and move my chair a little bit. Mm.
I'm not a very good authority on them, but one of the simplest words or mantra that is part of most meditation is the word Om, right? We hear it all the time. Even when I play the sacred acoustics meditation, it starts off with Om. And what I heard Sadhguru say is, it's not actually Om, it's Ah Om, like making, like without our tongue, saying Ah, closing our mouth, then Aum, AUM kind of sound. It's not Om. And it is very akin to saying, uh, here in America, we say Amen, but in Europe, it's said Amen, right? So it has the same way of moving the mouth without the tongue. Like even a deaf person can say right? If the tongue is not moving, the can come. Um, the world, they in the Bible it says the word was God created, the Big Bang occurred out of a word, right? So sound has such a powerful force, has been such a powerful force. If a word or thought created all of creation, right? So how much is this vibrational frequency of just saying um and um it's amazing that I just watched a video yesterday of Dr. Deepak Chopra on this somebody called a YouTube star called Lily Singh, and he was telling her the greatest mantra is aham, which is I am, knowing that I am consciousness, right? You talk about what Jack Cornfield says, loving awareness. So I am loving awareness is a good affirmation, as well as you can use it to train your mind to just focus on I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. So aham is one. Um, Dr. Deepak Chopra also had like 7 spiritual laws of success. Out of them, the topmost is what does he say? Um, I'm forgetting the uh, proper pronunciation of it. Aham Brahmasmi is I am the universe. So any of these can be used to train our mind to keep repeatedly, um, instead of getting thought after thought after thought, getting to repeating the word om, om, om in our mind, and that'll train our mind to focus on that sound coming out of it and feel the sound throughout the body. Don't just say it, feel it in within the body. And what Eckhart says is with any affirmation, we first need to know that field of presence, right? Like even if I say I'm loving awareness, before I affirm that, get still. And even after saying I'm loving awareness, be still. Feel the power of that. If I say his affirmation during conscious manifestation was, I'm filled with creativeness, achievements, and prosperity. After that, stop, affirm what is the source of creativeness, achievements, and prosperity. And then when we say, I'm filled with power, what is I am filled with power? It is not the power of who we are, but the power of the one consciousness. So affirm in that manner.
Yes. in the Kundalini yoga tradition and other traditions in Buddhism too, I know that mantras and chanting are a beautiful way of them affirming their practice, and the oneness I hear in some of these chants that are sung are so beautiful. In Kundalini yoga, we start with a opening chant that bows to the divine wisdom within and divine wisdom in another, and the divine wisdom in all beings. And there's many ancient chants that can be done that are offerings of healing. So there are others, and maybe others that are watching this, that know or have more information that they'd like to share, and we would love to hear from you. But the purpose of this video ultimately is to say that let it be the training wheels that we need to get to spend more time, or to spend to put not spending anything, but to realign our focus again and again into whatever the present moment holds, and that we do this in solidarity with each other again and again and again. We bring ourselves back, and then on its own, this space begins to open. And your breath work, I love working with people on their breath, and we have some videos on this channel, so maybe we'll put a couple of links in the description of this video.
The other thing I would suggest is, if one is the chanting itself, the other is writing. I feel, and I love the 2HB pencil, the 25-cent pencil. So with the pencil, write, I am loving awareness, like maybe 25 times, and then forget about it. And then next day, pick it up again and write, I am loving awareness, or write the affirmation, I am filled with power 25 times, and then let it go.
Yes, that's a good idea. I gave, I want to add to your affirmation, I am loving awareness. I am loving awareness. I am that. And notice if there's any rushing. That'll tell you sort of where you're at. Don't judge it. And just sit with each word. I am loving awareness. I am that. And if you don't have any presence before you sat down, give the mantra a moment, because the amount of attention that we're giving our mind, we can give to these mantras, and it will change our frequency, and then presence can begin to evolve. But when it's time to drop the affirmation, then drop it, and don't seek for something else. Just allow that simplicity to be enough if you're ready. Yeah.
And as Eckhart says, start with what Socrates is said to have known. I'm the only one that knows nothing. So start from the unknowingness. I know nothing. I'm the only one that knows nothing. And then I'm loving awareness, or whatever the
I am that
affirmation may be.
Yeah.
I am that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks.
This was wonderful, Parker.
Yeah, it was. I love